Hello, everyone, and welcome. It's Aaron St. Denis at FFMadScientist. Below me in the green is Jeremy Shulman at FF_Rebel. Down in the red is Jesse Moeller at JMoeller05. And SC Romero at the PPR show is the John Cena box down at the bottom. He should be with us momentarily. We will see. Regardless, welcome to the Fantasy Football Universe. All right, everyone. Welcome to the 2024 Rookie Sneak Peek for South Carolina wide receiver Xavier Legette. He's from Mullins, South Carolina, was a 4-star recruit out of Mullins High. In 2019, as a freshman for South Carolina, he appeared in 11 games, struggled to produce. His end-of-season stat line was 9 for 80 receiving yards and 1 touchdown. There's going to be a theme here. I wrote this last night. If you'd like to see the full write-up, fantasyfootballuniverse.com is where you can go. Followed that up in 2020 as a sophomore with an equally unimpressive year. 6 games, 7 catches, 113 yards, and a touchdown. 0 touchdowns. Sorry. 2021 and 2022 were no better. In 2021, as a junior, he caught 8 for 63 and 1 touchdown in 11 games. And in the following season, 18 receptions for 167 yards and 3 touchdowns in 13 games. So after 4 full seasons, he had a total of 42 catches, 423 receiving yards, and 4 touchdowns in 41 games. That's not good through 4 years. His end of year stat line would be a good game or an average game for a Marvin Harrison Jr.'s game, like a single game. So it finally broke out last year as a 5th-year senior because of COVID, obviously. 12 games, he recorded 71 catches for 1,255 receiving yards and 7 touchdowns. It's impressive he managed to stay at the same place for 5 years. 4 years of almost doing nothing. I'm just amazed he didn't transfer somewhere else, but I love these profiles where they do nothing for 4 years and then have one good season where they're 45 years old and bigger than everyone else on the field, and then they break out, and then they get projected to go late first round. Because if I'm an NFL GM, I love paying a first-round pick for 1 year of good production. All right, I'm going to break down the measurables here, obviously limited because we haven't got much. I had to update this one. Jeremy told me he was listed at 6'3", Senior Bowl measurement yesterday. He is 6'1". Not great. 50.
They were being generous with the 6'1" too. I think he was a little underneath it.
Yeah, 6007. Yeah, so he's like a little over.
227 pounds. So he's a big. He's a thick guy. 22, almost 23 years old. He is a senior. I don't even know where to start here, guys. Someone want to. Maybe Jeremy, you seem to have something positive to say about it. Pre-show, go for it,
man.
Go for it. It's all you.
Yeah, no, he's super fast. I think where he excelled in the tape is on crossing routes, where he came all the way across the field. The corners were struggling to keep up with him. The only 2 games that I managed to watch were Georgia and Florida. So some pretty good competition there. He was, they were using him a lot, which is great. You love to see that. Things are going right in practice. But against Georgia, as you can imagine, the corners were just blowing him up on screens and everything. I don't think a lot of that was necessarily his fault. And I didn't see just speed. I think he has some decent quickness and was able to kind of move around and get out away from press. He had some shiftiness with the ball in his hands as well. And he was a good blocker, which is the first time I've said that about a wide receiver that I've watched here. But yeah, when we're throwing that out for pros, that it's not all, sunshine and rainbows up his ass here.
You look incredibly bright-eyed and bushy-tailed for a guy who watched Royal Rumble all night and drank beer.
Hey, he's there.
Oh yeah, man. It was a fun time. My people came out.
That was the worst pay-per-view I love Royal Rumble as the worst one I've seen in years. Anyway.
No, man, give props to the women's Royal Rumble. It was a great Rumble for them.
Yeah, it was all right, but the other 3 matches sucked. Anyways, this is not a wrestling podcast. Let's not get to it. How about you? Either Jesse or SC, either you guys got anything really you want to say here about
I'll hop in. It's the speed. So RA Analytics tracks college football players with their speed in miles per hour. He has the second fast in this class. It's 22.3 miles per hour. That's faster than DK Metcalf had this year, who was a fast NFL player. So, by the way, he's very fast, and that's what is going to allure NFL teams into him because big body and he's fast. Like that's real athleticism, which most people do not have. So that is the calling card. Like of all thing else, like it's like he's a freak athlete. That's the one thing they're gonna be like, we want that on our team. But yeah, the profile is just it's rough.
I think with Legette, a big thing for him is going to be he's going to be one of those day 2 wide receivers that gets drafted, and it's going to rise his draft stock. One thing you have to look at when you look at his game is he had Spencer Rattler at quarterback, right? Not really a quarterback that's heavy on, and he made Rattler look good at some times. So I take that into consideration that, okay, he can go to a bad quarterback, so to say, and still look good. He doesn't need to be an alpha. I don't necessarily think he'll do that, but he can be a great wide receiver too for a team. Has the measurables, has the moves for me to make it at that next level. Again, a solid wide receiver 2 or flex at that next level for you when it comes to fantasy football.
We're sitting here in the show and I'm going, damn it, I wonder how hungover SC is. He's late. He didn't even accept my invite. And Mike Cash sends me a message. You sent the invite to the wrong chat, moron. Like one of our retweet groups. Yeah. Now you clicked on Jesse's link. Right? My bad.
Yeah.
Oopsie.
So who's really hungover, me or you?
No, I was kind of working. I have like a Big Brothers type kid that I bring over to watch it with my kids, so nice. I didn't get to drink. Having said that, if they set up a Roman Reigns versus CM Punk WrestleMania, I was going to start drinking. So as we said, we'll kind of skip over here. The table you see, no production for 4 years and then 1 great year. So let's get right into the strengths and weaknesses in my article. Like I said, you can head over to fantasyfootballuniverse.com if you want to check out the full written breakdown. 1 second. I muted that, right?
Yeah.
You did.
Yep.
We all saw it, though.
We saw you just turn around. Let's just say something.
There's a Fortnite battle royale going on in my back. All right, strengths. Trustworthy receiver who can make catches in the high traffic areas. Doesn't seem to shy away, even though if he's going to take a big hit. Excellent speed and acceleration to get separation easily. He can outrun pretty much I said cornerback, but pretty much anyone on the field. Elite deep threat as a result. Excels in vertical routes. Great contested catch specialist. This one really stood out. Speed is kind of a one-dimensional thing. You'll turn into a one-trick pony. But the guys, that was, I think, the best positive I seen. He's damn good at coming down and using his 6 foot, not 6'3" size to come down with the contested catches, but that did impress me. It showed he wasn't necessarily just a deep threat. He can go in for the jump ball, so he might have some red zone appeal, but anybody find anything here in the strengths that really stood out in a positive way for you?
I mean, he reminds me a lot of Christian Watson because he's very unrefined and there's a lot that he needs to work on, but the athleticism. So like, this is the thing, like he's going to be a day 2 wide receiver. Like we're talking about with SC. Some teams are going to take a shot on him. And if they could use his skill set to the best ability, that's how he becomes a very good player for them. It's just, it takes a certain situation and an offense to use this type of player, right?
Did you mean that comp as a compliment or an insult?
Yes, as a good thing. I still like Christian Watson a lot. So if you're shooting for upside, like that's the type of player I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like I did the exact opposite. I heard Christian Watson and I'm like, yeah, I'm out. Yeah, that's that I'm out. I'm good.
But that's the kind of similar profile, yeah.
I like that comp, but I also think he's a little bit more polished than him just because he was playing at SEC, so his competition was there. And he, like I said, for South Carolina, he had to be one of the top guys for them. So I think there's a little bit of a difference there. I get that, though, but definitely need some fine-tuning. But again, with that right coach, he's someone you're going to want to take in that second round of your drafts.
Yeah. And Aaron, you mentioned the contested catches. He was really good at He was really good at high pointing the football, but at the same time, sometimes he'd jump a little bit early, and just his athleticism showed there. Just his ability to hang in the air and adjust his body to the ball in the air, just super impressive.
You have to have good hang time if you're going to high punt, though. Like high punting the ball that's tough. So.
Listen, and rare as well.
Weaknesses. I found this column much easier to write up than the strengths, but tends to make body catches. I seen a lot of Quentin Johnston in this one right here. Struggles to get open versus zone coverage and lacks the feel to, find the open spots in the zone to sit down. At times, he can lack effort and struggles to get open after the result, especially against the press. He's not great for the ones where they have to improvise because basically if the route's not designed with him as the primary read, I noticed he lacks effort. had extremely limited production throughout, because I can spell, 4 seasons, and only had a breakout as a fifth-year senior when he was bigger and stronger. That scares the hell out of me. I kind of got one-trick pony vibes, but he's a little bit better at contested catches. This, I think, I don't hate him. If I'm an NFL team or GM, I don't want anything to do with where he's projected at the end of the first round. I think this is kind of like I thought with Quentin Johnston. There is upside here for like Hall of Fame alpha wide receiver. There is also N'Keal Harry potential here. So this is not one where, like, there's a wide range of outcomes here.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts, anyone?
Yeah, it makes sense to me.
Yep. Yeah, QJ is the perfect comp. I mean, we're hoping that he improves, but he's probably going to need time to develop. For sure.
Yeah, it's QJ with a significantly worse production profile. If you're like chasing that, yeah. So like, analytic people are not going to like him, but you have to like kind of watch the film and see like there are things that he has that are good that can translate to the NFL. It's just what team's going to be willing to chase that.
If he goes to like a crowded wide receiver room, I don't know if I'm going to take the flyer on him because I don't know if he's going to jump out right away. It may take him 3 years to do that, So
you may never see the field.
That's a good point.
Like that. That scares me. But all right. Expected draft capital. Right now, he's being mocked at the end of the first round. That scares me. I put Dallas Cowboys. There's a lot of teams he could fit. Dallas Cowboys. Like any team needs a deep threat, a speed threat. I said Dallas or any of the late 3, Kansas City, Baltimore, Buffalo. Honestly, I would feel more comfortable if any of those 4 teams took him in the late second round. No, I don't want a first round pick on this guy. I know he's going to go earlier than expected because the NFL loves speed, and then he's going to shoot up draft boards. I don't want anything to do with this. What are you laughing at?
I'm laughing at the
Bo Gentry?
The notification that came in that Arthur Smith is interviewing for the Steelers OC job today.
Oh, just when he thought it couldn't get worse than that, Canada. Oh my God.
Hey, he's definitely better in Canada, but that's not saying much.
Are we sure? Definitely? Like definitely better? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean his profile has been like pretty good for offenses overall. But yeah, this last year was just a disaster.
Hopefully he treats Najee more like Henry and not like a Bijan, Tyler Algier with him and Warren.
Who knows?
Oh gosh, yeah. Like you're looking at these round 2 play like teams and the teams that needed wide receivers. So you have like Indianapolis needs another guy, the Giants. Like there's a lot of teams in that mid-second round where he could fall to that need a production profile like his. So yeah, I like him over in that range.
I like the when I was saying, a crowded wide receiver room, I was trying to think of, okay, what's a team that he could go with? I think he can excel. And Dallas Cowboys actually is one. Him opposite CD, I think will be good. But also if they have Brandon Cooks, he's learning from him as well. And I think that's just, like I said, he's a solid wide receiver too if they have a great alpha. And I think the Dallas Cowboys would be an excellent fit. Just a good comp to be opposite of CD there.
Yeah. And, maybe not terrible if it's crowded. For example, Washington might be interesting. Give him a little bit time to develop with Johnson going over there. Most likely, it could be a new QB likely at 2. It could be really interesting for him to kind of sit a year behind Dotson and maybe evolve into that wide receiver 3 toward the end of his first season.
All right. Anybody else got anything to add here? Good. Good. All right. That concludes the 2024 rookie sneak peek of South Carolina wide receiver Xavier Legette. Head over to fantasyfootballuniverse.com for the write-up of the profile, or check back tomorrow for the next video in our series. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Enjoy Conference Championship Day.